All right, everybody. So we are back with the 2005 Ibanez Jam Steve Vai signature. This one was built by the J Craft team. This thing's phenomenal without even plugging it in. The build quality is incredible. Now, we had to address quite a few things with this. On the fretboard, it was some really nasty, almost like dried chicken grease or something just built up in here. And I had to very much scrub and condition the fretboard. It seems like it's better. I will probably treat it one more time. There is still some residue in there that I'm still trying to get out. And this thing's interesting. I mean, so you've got your normal fretting, right? And then you've got these scallop frets down here, which is really cool from factory. It is hard for me to imagine, having a guitar like this and just letting it get as filthy as this one was and sit like that. But I also understand that the person, it appears they wore sick for a while, so this may not have been their fault in any way, right? I'm sure this was like the holy grail of their collection. But we're going to get it all back. One thing I want to first do is all of these previously gold screws in the pick guard. When I took it off last night and before I put it back on, I was looking at it, and honestly, they are all just very silver. And I happen to have some gold ones around, so I'm going to see if they fit properly and probably go ahead and just replace those. I'll keep the originals, obviously. Originality is everything, all the way down to the screws, right? But I do want to like bring them back to give it that pop again. So as you see, these screws were all a bright gold at one time, and just the tops have just worn off like anything that's aged, right? So just for good measure, we're going to replace these guys. That already looks a lot better. I'll probably go back and replace the pickup screws at some point. I don't have this right size in gold in stock at the moment. I don't do a lot of gold screws. It is very sad that this was allowed to get to this condition. I don't know exactly what gets built on this guitar. It doesn't seem to have affected anything from the voltage readings. But what you haven't seen that was done mostly off camera is I've had to go through and clean under the pick guard around it in every crevice. Scrub this fretboard, do all kinds of stuff to this just to get it to this point, right? And this guy was covered in something and took quite a while to actually do it as well. So one thing that was very deteriorated because there was no back plate on this guitar. Apparently the family has found it. They're going to bring it to me. But these are just, they have cat hair embedded in them. They have whatever that sticky stuff in them. They barely even flex. These are the original springs that came out of here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to replace them with an updated modern set of Floyd Rose official springs. We'll see how that does in here. Of course, again, I will save those just because they are original to the guitar. Let's see, where's our post height? About right there. Now we're going to, having cleaned this thoroughly last night because it was nasty, we're going to take this Edge Pro and we're going to reinstall it. Now, this has these little red things on it, and what these are, they are for holding the ball ends of the strings. A lot of people remove these. They're just a little screw that holds them in. I don't want to modify the guitar from how it was built, but you can remove that, and then you can just use this to lock your strings just like any other Floyd Rose. just want to set my first spring in place here so I have something holding on. All right. One of these, which is kind of cool. It helps hold this in place, kind of like your string tree does. I think it's a good idea. Let's get this back onto here. That's beautiful. I see no issues whatsoever, which is to be expected on something of this caliber. Okay, so I'm just going to put on some Ernie balls here. And again, this is what's different about this. Yep, this pushes right up against there. Now you push it forward just like you would with a regular Floyd Rose. Should clear the ball end. They say it's better for stability. I don't know. Okay, so yeah, we have put her back together. We have cleaned and polished every single thing. We have set up the Floyd Rose, or Edge Pro as they call it. It has these DiMarzio Evolution pickups in them from factory. It is a multi-piece neck. This thing is just great. Maple mahogany rosewood, wizard neck. Beautiful, beautiful guitar. So we ran into some challenges, but I think she came out very well for a guitar that obviously didn't get a lot of attention for the last few years. You know, there's some places where you've got rubbing on the gold plating, you've got some slight discoloration to the body and the poly, but you know, that is all acceptable and really doesn't depreciate anything. I think she turned out great. I can't wait to sit down and play her. I'm going to clean a couple more guitars, and then that's what I'm going to do later on. Thanks for watching.